Demand for gold has steadily declined this year, with prices sinking while investors seek higher returns elsewhere. Experts believe that outside of a major economic disaster, a global pandemic, or an escalation in one of the world's political hotspots, gold looks set to struggle for a while yet. Gold prices have fallen more than 7% since October 21. The decline comes as the US dollar continues to strengthen against a basket of major currencies in expectation of stronger growth in the world's largest economy. The Ministry of Natural Resources and the Environment, along with the Guyana Gold Board, continues to monitor the trade of gold and the movements in prices. This week on Dorado Shines, you will learn more about the slide in the price for this precious metal and how this is likely to impact Guyana's gold mining industry and the effects it could have on the economy. Guyana is making more lands and resources available for mineral production and investments in the natural resources sector. These initiatives are being pursued in keeping with the country's commitment to protect the environment. Gold prices, like oil, are closely linked to the strength or weakness of the US dollar, and the recent declines in the precious metal have also coincided with US crude oil falling below the critical $80 per barrel level. These and other factors, such as the shift in demand from major buyers such as China, are contributing to the fall in the price for gold.
There are a number of factors that are impacting the decline in gold price currently. The major factor would have been improvement in the U.S. economy and the strength of the U.S. dollar. The U.S. dollar and gold, given their trust and value, they are almost substitute. So you'll find with the strengthening of the U.S. dollar, the demand for gold will decline. There will be an increase in demand for U.S. dollar. The other factor would have been high interest rate in terms of the returns that someone will get, with the expectations that there is no more quantitative easing in the U.S. And that by itself is saying that interest rates will increase. High interest rate means that there is going to be a decline in demand for gold. Decline in demand for gold translates into a decline in the price of gold. Then you also have inflation. There is hardly any inflation in the world, in the US, in Europe, and elsewhere. Low level of inflation means that there is no need for gold as something that will hold value and trust. You also have situations where the demand for gold by the major buyers, India and China, they are not growing as they used to before. And in India, there is high tariff, and there is also reduction in the level that jewelers can import. So by itself, there is a decline in the demand.
It is said in the financial papers, where the American dollar is strong, of course. China, one of the major buyers of gold, they're not buying. And it's not buying at the price, and it's kind of surprising because at this price, one would think that the people would buy it, but for some reason, they're not buying. So we just have to wait and see, because we have no control of the price.
In Guyana, the miners are essentially price takers. They have to take the price from elsewhere. And there is indeed widespread market manipulation. Those who have the power elsewhere are manipulating the price so as to ensure that they can benefit in terms of buying low, selling high from time to time. We don't have that privilege in this country.
Despite challenges over the year, the prospects for large-scale gold mining in Guyana are still very real. Notably, the Guyana Gold Fields and Troy Resources projects are set to come on stream in late 2014. The highest price for gold ever recorded was well over $1,800 in August 2011. However, Over the past months, the price of gold has wavered between $1,300 and $1,500. Gold miners in Guyana are extremely concerned about this drop in the price.
Miners are suffering. We hope it doesn't go down lower, but there are some predictions that it will. That doesn't set good for the industry. At this price, the whole industry is suffering because our cost of production, which will depend on our margin, are still fixed at $1,800 prices. Fuel is still $40-something thousand a barrel, which it was at $1,800, now $1,150. It's the same price. Our spares, it's the same at $1,800. So our inputs that will affect our cost of production have not gone down. So therefore, the industry now, it's not, we're not making money. We're losing, and anybody will know at this price. What we're hoping and that we're looking at is maybe we could find ways of one, cutting back on our costs, which is difficult with the current prices.
The fundamentals will tell you that, hey, prices are not supposed to be below $1,200 because the cost of production is going to be somewhere in the 1,100 mark. And there is supposed to be some return for the miners in terms of some level of profitability. Internationally, one would expect that the price would be above 1,200, anyway, hovering between 1,200 to about 1,350. However, you'll find that these commentators now will tell you, hey, there is an upward resistance and there's a lower level to look at, maybe 1,130, 1,140, and people are persuaded by those kinds of destabilizing speculation.
If you operate at $1,800, when your price is $1,800, the cost is say about $1,150. You know, you pass survival, and the industry is suffering.
Each year, approximately 2,500 tons of gold is mined throughout the world. South Africa leads the world in gold mining, and the US, Russia, Canada, and Australia are also major producers. Gold is distributed widely over the earth, and gold mining is pursued in most countries with some success. Already, the effects of the falling gold prices can be seen in some mining districts across the country.
Well, from discussions with fellow miners, some of our larger miners who were having maybe 20, 30 dredges, we told me the larger miners, they cut back by 40%. They maybe have about 20 dredges. Even the smaller miners who had like maybe 4 dredges, they cut back to 2. And they are just working areas that can pay. When gold was $1,800 an ounce, we could have worked some marginal areas, and we could have done some prospecting and improvement. But now at $1,150, it's most difficult, and some miners are just leaving the equipment in the interior and just park it there and just come out because they continue to operate at these costs. You incur more losses.
Miners will have to find ways and means of reducing costs, but reduction in costs wouldn't come in the short run. That'll be over a period of time.
We have to look at a different way of mining. We have to look at improvement in the way of mining. For instance, we use mainly the sluice box, which gives you about 40% recovery. We now have to find a way, and we're looking to find that technology. We have to improve recovery from 40% to 70, 80%. And that is what one of the things we concentrated on. We have to find a way of reaching out to the small and medium miner. We have to find a way to show him where he can improve his business, reduce his costs of production. Because we have to find a way for him to survive at these crucial times.
The miners will tell you that, hey, it's become more and more difficult to mine because once you get rid of where you have the goal, in terms of marginal cost being very low, as you go deeper and deeper, it becomes higher. And so it has become not economic viable for a number of miners.
The Guyana Gold Board, particularly in times like these, seek to act as a stabilizing force for the local gold mining industry.
Guyana Gold Board buys gold at both London first and second fix. And whatever are those fix, the gold board buys miners gold. And therefore, even if the price is declining in the world market, that price remains. So you can go as a miner and sell your gold to the Guyana Gold Board.
It is recognized that better management practices and more cost-effective techniques that yield higher recovery rates depend on education and training. The Guyana Gold and Diamond Miners Association and the Guyana Geology and Mines Commission has been collaborating in this regard.
The GGDMA and the GGMC, we have to work together to find a way how to improve techniques, how to improve recovery. We are looking, we can import the technology, but the problem we have with that is that we work in different areas. The technology recovery that you may get from America or Canada, they work riverbeds, which is just sand and stone. Right? Now we work clay and mud and whatever. So even though some people have bought that technology, it cannot work on its present form in Guyana, back then. So we have to look at a way of modifying technology, or we have to come up with our own, in order so it could be beneficial for the miner to work under the Guyanese or Guyana conditions.
The Gold Miners Association, GGDMA, is that they would have had seminars for their miners to indicate to them the most efficient and effective means of mining, given that the effort would have increased over time and also in terms of the cost. I know from the ministry side they have been putting in place, and in particular through the mining school, to educate miners in terms of the best way forward, especially at this time when there is so many challenges with respect to lower gold prices, increase in the cost of mining.
The Guyana Mining School would have been born out of a survey that was conducted by the Technical Vocational Educational Training and the Statistic Unit of the Ministry of Labor and Human Services. And in that survey of the mining sector, which was conducted in January 2012, it saw that there were several key areas in the sector where there is a need for training and development of human capital to service the industry. And these areas range from technical areas such as operators, servicemen, servicewomen, to managerial positions in some cases. And so the mining school saw or was developed because of this niche existing, where we can play a part in developing human resource in these various areas that have been outlined in this skills needs survey.
A number of courses to address the immediate needs in the sector are expected to come on stream this year.
The Guyana Mining School would have launched a program whereby it would have rolled out maybe about 20 courses that will be executed over this year, 2014. And those courses will seek to address the needs that exist in these areas as it relates to training persons to become excavator operators. We know excavator operators is a very critical occupation in the extractive sector. And there are sometimes great shortages of these persons. Also, you have persons who can repair and maintain these equipment. But more importantly, we saw the need for miners to be empowered.
Exploiting Guyana's vast mineral reserves means the human resources would have to be specially trained and equipped to undertake this task. Authorities recognize this and hope the introduction of this new facility will quickly address the need.
We have not even begun to tap in to our mineral potential. There is great potential that exists. But in order for us to realize that potential or to make use of the potential, we need to empower our normal citizens, the normal man or woman in the streets who wish to be interested in how to get into mining, who may not have had exposures in mining before, may not have any experience, may not even have a clue as to what to do, even to apply for a piece of land. But there is a need to empower such people because jobs are being created in the industry. We have large influx of foreigners who are coming into our country and are making use of the potentials that exist. So there lies the need. Why not our citizens of Guyana be empowered to utilize our resources as well?
Prospecting is the act of searching for new gold deposits. The methods used depend on the type of deposit sought and the resources of the prospector. Training persons in this field is one of the first tasks of the mining school.
Prospectors will be someone who understands how to go about doing some research on where there is gold, where there is not gold, being able how to apply for a land, whether it's a claim, a block or a prospecting permit, medium scale, a mining permit, and being able to explain to those persons not just how to apply for the land, but how you can plan your operation. How can you plan your operation given the fact that, your operation is located in a mountainous terrain, in a remote terrain, how close it is to a landing, transportation, main transport arteries. What are the parameters that are needed to be considered before you actually invest in a piece of mining equipment such as a dredge or an excavator.
Technical skills such as map reading is important for prospectors since it provides detailed information on the most suitable locations for mining. The school's curriculum for long-term programs has been designed to cater for the critical areas in the industry that require specialized training and expertise.
The curriculum, as it relates to the full-time course or the full-time diploma, is split into two streams. There is the surface mining operations and there is the exploration operations. The surface mining will be geared for persons who would want to get into more mining planning kind of activities, where it ranges from land rehabilitation, land reclamation, being able to do mine plans, being able to look at non-mercury recovery systems and how you can be able to adopt these systems based on the soil characteristics within which you're working, finding out which system is more suitable to be used. It also will include basics in statistical tools that they can be able to use to examine data and be able to arrive at decisions. GIS applications will be taught to such persons. On the other side, which is the exploration operations, those persons will be more biased to prospecting, and prospecting at the level of a technician, that they can function in an organization, let's say a large-scale organization, as a grade control technician or as a field assistant or a senior field assistant or a senior prospector. We recognize this is not a diploma that will be on par with the University of Guyana diploma, but it will serve to empower persons we can refer to will be tradesmen level that will be needed in the industry.
The Guyana Gold Board has been working to strengthen management, improve security and internal controls, improve staff working environment and compensation, and expand and deepen its intermediation functions. The Guyana Gold Board provides functional services to other organizations such as the Guyana Geology and Mines Commission, the Guyana Revenue Authority, and the Natural Resources and Environment Ministry. The high price of gold that saw Guyana producing record levels in 2013 resulted in many miners moving away from other precious metals and focusing instead on gold.
Last year when the price was 1,800, miners were making, let's say, a profit. Or we had some savings. So some miners who have diamond concessions or diamond bearing concessions, they diverted some of the equipment into diamond mining, diamond technology and prospecting for diamonds. So that started when the price was high. Some miners or some areas have proven to be successful, the Koropong and those areas have now kind of rebirth, right? So so some people now are getting back into diamonds because the price of gold it's low, but it's not as easy because you still have to prospect, you still have to move equipment, technology, and whatever. But I'm glad that at least we're looking at I'm looking at diamonds, and you also know when the price is high, when the miners were making profits. We invested in other things, mainly get into buildings and tourism facilities, and quite a few of miners bought aircraft, got into air transportation.
With predictions on the world market remaining uncertain, is the declaration level in Guyana expected to exceed that of 2013?
Definitely not. This year, production levels are going to drop by 10-15%. What do you have to remember last year? Last year, when we started, gold was 1,800. And like any other business people, we invested or reinvested because this industry, the banker or nobody lends us money. So what we did with the expectation of prices remain at 1,800 or going up, we reinvested, we retooled. We put back our savings or profits back into the industry. And come mid-year, the industry dropped. However, we'd already committed, we already purchased equipment, we had capital expenditure, so miners plowed back their savings, and and we had a good year. We finished the year record year. Now start 2014, there's no savings. There's nothing left to start with.
One of the major incentives would be the high price that we would have expected, which we had expected last year. And we would have expected some moderation this year. But we didn't really have moderation. We had sharp declines. And the market has been very volatile.
So, under the circumstances, what production levels can be expected for 2014?
We're looking at 400,000 ounces. Anything better than that, it's good for the industry, good for the economy.
Gold is also a major contributor to Guyana's economy. While falling prices continue to be of major concern, it is believed that the country's economy can withstand the shock.
Fortunate for our economy, we are very diversified. In that, when the price of gold started to decline, we had other things happening. We had an increase in the output and export receipts from rice. We are seeing some recovery in sugar. And on the other hand, we are seeing a decline in oil prices.
Despite the challenges gripping the gold mining industry, officials remain optimistic that the industry will remain profitable.
Gold can remain profitable. Miners will have to ensure that they adopt the appropriate technology, and as such, there can still be some level of profitability in this activity. They need to be there, We have seen cycles where gold prices will come down, and there are cycles where it will go up. You have to be, I would say, ensuring that you do have that kind of, I would say, resilience to remain in the industry and to continue to produce. By being more productive, you'll be able to reduce your costs, your profitability will increase.
The Guyana Gold Board provides functional services to other organizations such as the Guyana Geology and Mines Commission, the Guyana Revenue Authority, and the Natural Resources and Environment Ministry. Check us out on the internet for this and every episode of Dorado Shines. Just go to YouTube, search for Dorado Shines, and start watching. Or like us on Facebook and receive instant updates. You've been watching Dorado Shines. Do join us again next week for another program. Until then, do remember that we all have a role to play in protecting the environment.